Hey guys, so I'm making this video on transmutation as a follow-up because after I got that one crisis taken care of, I was at sparring today, and long story short, I think I got an MCL injury. I took a sweep and my legs just bowed instead of taking it or changing position, and I went down and there was this bad pain and I heard a pop, and that's a ligament thing if that happens. So I did research and it sounds like an MCL injury. I don't know what stage it is yet, but that in those moments I was suffering at like very raw levels of, just straight energy. So this is what I did to transmute that in the moment, because within the injury I saw the emotional attachments to memories I had beginning to attach to the injured part. And I was able to kind of stop that process. So it was really interesting. So when it happened, I fell, and immediately, man, I was like, like there was no denying that, like, that shit fucking had me clung. So I spent that time focusing on my breath, immediately went to my breath. And it was okay if tears came out, but I just focused on redirecting that river of powerful, powerful pain energy into calming with the breathing. So going into balance, like being aware, yes, something happened, but how much of this is shock versus how much of this is actual pain? Let me steady my breathing first. So immediately I spent the first maybe like 5 minutes catching my breath, and tears are running down, but like we were cool. And then I had to get a ride home. And so as the human interactions began to come about where people were showing concern, my coach came over, stuff like that, I found myself reeling in an emotional memory and feeling along with the connection that I was feeling with the team and their regards to me. And as I did that, there was a pain that jolted in my knee at the same time. So I knew that within this moment, as I was taking in these interactions with other people, that I was attaching an emotional correspondence there to the pain itself, and the pain started becoming a trigger point for that. So when I started realizing that, I again went back to my breathing and I started to go into technical terms. It's very much like how we deal with the crisis. I redirected that energy into focusing on and bringing down my stress levels and accepting the pain that was there, right? But soothing that more than paying attention to the others, and then coming back with a rational conversation, like redirecting the conversation that we were going to have, instead of just like, oh, are you okay, blah blah, because even though that's nice, that triggered some other shit that I knew was going to make me injure myself in the future in order to get attention like that. And I didn't want this to be attached to that at all. So I started to I started to focus on my breath again, and then I began to relay things in a very practical manner. So like, all right, the sensations I'm feeling right now is a deep pain in here, and it comes in cycles, and I felt a pop when it happened. Can you tell me information about what might be going on? And my coach was like, yeah, I think it's MCL, blah, blah. You should just rest it for a couple of days. You'll be fine. And even though he wasn't regarding it as a big deal, right? Like the other guys, they came and they fucking picked me up. Oh, that was so nice. They picked me up and brought me to another spot. And as they're doing it, my coach is like, she can get on one leg. She doesn't have to be picked up. It was in that moment, again, another memory, something shameful actually, wanted to attach itself to his comments about she can walk, that kind of thing. And instead of taking it like that, I pushed that to the side. I was like, no, this has no place here. And instead, I also transmuted what could have been a negative emotional attachment to that moment, adding to an embarrassment. Instead, I attached that to humor. And I started making it like, yes, I'm the queen. and turned it into humor. Then people were laughing and the atmosphere changed again. So I got a ride home. I got people to drop me off, which was really nice. I can't put any weight on it. I have to wait until later, until about 4 or 5, in order to get a ride to the urgent care. So now I'm just going to work on it. And when I got home away from people, I fucking sobbed. Like, this hurt so bad. And I think that's okay too. And I noticed that when I was crying, I was also like, I just had to let it out. There was like an emotional thing. There was like a fear that needed to be let out. So I let that out, and then I found stillness. And then I started educating myself on what this was, what this could possibly be. And then I started to detach from the injury, knowing it's there, being very aware of it and focused, but having a plan as to how to deal with it. And now the physical pain is there, but it's in its proper place. It is reacting off of the injury that has occurred, not an emotional response that I'm having. So when we get physically injured, as next level shit, we have to start becoming aware of what emotional attachments we're holding to that injury as it's occurring, because this is where we get that constant chronic pain in our shoulder that is now memory based more than actually there. You know, that kind of shit. So anyway, I wanted to share that because obviously we got something new to talk about in a new journey. And I did not use so typically if I have an injury or something like that, a physical injury, I'll envision a color, what color it is, and then I'll take it out and observe it. But this was very much hands-on right in the moment, and so I did not use that method. But let me know in the comments below what works for you when you get physically injured, like maybe tore something or whatever, or, you know, even just when something happens. How have you been able to change your response to it, and how do you transmute that energy itself into something that's serving you? All right, that was what I had. Many blessings on your journeys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.